Hey guys, we got a trouble call for a residential water system. Customer states the red light is flashing. These guys have a lower site and an upper site. Here on the mountain, there's kind of an upper limit with the municipal distribution system of our drinking water of having good pressure. So everyone who lives on that upper elevation limit either uses a booster pump to build pressure, or they do, a lot of people do what this customer does, which is they use a buffer tank and a transfer pump to pump the water up the hill to another storage tank. And some folks will gravity feed down if they have enough elevation change from their upper tank to their house, or like these folks, they have a booster pump up at the top tank. It's because there's enough of an elevation change between the two. So this is, the red light is flashing at the bottom site. I can't remember every single thing that fires that fault. I know there's a flow switch. I know there's a level float switch in the buffer tank. So we'll be looking at all of those inputs, basically tracing down what fires the fault. Is it a nuisance trip or is it a bona fide fault? And then looking at what we got to do to fix whatever caused the fault. All right, see you there.
Control panel, transfer pump, there's suction, comes in, discharge out, check valve, test bib, pressure gauge, flow switch, distribution up to the top tank. We've got X3, X5, X6, all true. And then a radio transmitter, white thing up there, it has a yellow light. Should look that up. Got manuals for all this on my laptop. So let's go get the laptop and see what we can figure out. Alright, here's the manual for the radio receiver. And yeah, we've got a fault yellow. Does it say any notes on there? But I can almost guarantee that the transmitter, which is battery operated, a fault condition at the receiver indicates either a transmitter problem, such as low battery voltage, or that the receiver has lost comms with the transmitter. So yeah, we need a new battery, and the transmitter takes a CR123 or a Duracell 123A or equivalent lithium. Alright, see if we can grab one of them and go throw it up at the transmitter at the top tank, and should be able to get them running. It's all that way. Okay, so you just unscrew this Allen key, and then that cover pops off. Yes. And then I should be able to just snake them like so. Pull them gently down.
I was like, what am I doing wrong? I thought it was just supposed to be a flip of the switch and it was reset and everything was cool. And he said, yeah, that's usually, how we do it, but there's something else going on. And then, so I came up here and I saw our power go out that night. So the the light stopped flashing down there, right? Because we had no power. And then I couldn't see from up here if it was flashing. I went down there, it was flashing. I reset it, the fault battery, or the fault green light.
I took it out, I put the fresh battery in, and then I pressed the reset button. Those are all the steps. The other thing is it might take a moment for the water to get all the way up here. That's possible. So if we don't hear the water running, I'm going to go back down below and I'm going to check stuff down there.
Okay.
And then I'll let you know what I see. Strobe is still flashing. Radio still shows a fault light, even with a new battery. That's not good. Next thing to try is to cycle power. Okay, fault's gone. For now, let's see. It's not calling for the pump. Y4 is energized and so is Y1. Strobe's not running. I don't see the fault LED on the receiver anymore. That's good. Got X5, X6, Y1, and Y4 are all true. Oh, worried this thing's just going to start right up and startle me. But we'll see. Well, I might as well connect to the PLC. Maybe it'll start while I'm getting my laptop. Or if it's waiting for that float switch signal. And it could be that the float switch at the top side has failed, isn't closing, and isn't calling, or it's not low enough to actually call. So we'll look into that. Okay, we're connected. I don't see any timers running. Everything looks good. So yeah, we need to go back up and check out that float switch. Okay, so now I've just got the radio jumped and the float switch isolated. Let's see if it's closed. If it's closed, that's a real head scratcher. It's closed. We can put these back on. We know that the float is calling. Well, why isn't the pump running? Do we blow a fuse? I got 12 volts there. I got 130 there. I got 12 volts going out to the float. Blue is our low. Good. He's closed. And orange our low is true, but I think that's by design. Alright, well, the next thing, I don't want to go way up there. Kind of think the radio is connected but not transmitting. There's a bunch of white powder coming down from up there. That's not good. That red LED is supposed to be on. And I just can't tell if it's on or not from down here. I need to get up there. I need to check that splice. That's what I need to do. It has a little red LED light on it. The only way to see it is to get up there. So now I'm putting my faith in this rinky old shed. I did see a bunch of corrosion falling down this pipe. This seems really loose. Holy crap, look how loose this is. Looks like the red LED is on. But this is so loose. Something tells me that is so loose. This thing is just going to be full of water and corrosion. Looks alright, just bugs. So there should be 12 volt DC in here between the red and this black. And then that should be way tighter like so. Man, you gotta really cover it with your hands, but that red LED is on. So that means it's getting power and the connections are good. I'm glad I tightened this. That narrows it down to the transmitter. And we did just change the battery, but maybe I need to hit reset again. That's all I can think of. I verified the PLC is working, pump is working, the water protection in the buffer tank is working. We haven't overloaded, voltage is good. The receiver, this guy has voltage, DC voltage. His red light is on, his fault light is not, and when that green one turns on, he's going to run the pump. If the green one was on, that would tell me that he is getting the closed signal from up top. But he is not getting the closed signal, so the only thing I can think of is going up there and resetting that battery. Okay, I can head back up to the top site now. No, it seems like transmitter is toast. Okay, so we tested the receiver. The receiver has power. The receiver is happy. We tested the battery for the transmitter. We replaced it. There was a radio fault when we got here. We reset it. The radio fault takes 2 hours to activate. So there's a little bit of if it doesn't have comms right away, it won't, but it'll fault again here soon. And then now it really seems like they need to just get the radio transmitter replaced, but it's going to be a whole system. So right now their options are run the system in hand, but I don't know, the key is missing. So where did the key fall? Where is the key? Do not see the key. Alright, well, since I can't find the key, we're just going to override everything. Hotwire it. That way they can run it in hand, so now it is switched. So now it's in hand. Okay, here's how you start the pump. Everything's off. Lift the antique switch, like so. it goes. If you want to stop the pump, you drop the switch. Like so. And to start it, very good. So that's how they'll be running it in hand from now on. Alright, now we got to get them a new radio transmitter and a new receiver, or at least get them a quote. But see you on the next one.